Hello, welcome to the JAV Show. This is Jorge.
This is Viv.
And we're back. How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Hello. How's your week been, Viv?
I'm pretty freaking tiring. Up until Wednesday, actually. Because this project that I've been working on at work, it came in like 2.5 weeks ago. And we only had a deadline of 2.5 weeks, essentially. And when I looked over the entire scope of the project, I was like, holy shit. This project would normally take us like a month and a half to do. But we only have 2 weeks to do this. And it was essentially a project that would lead into a bigger project. And then if we could get this project done for our client, then they were essentially going to sign a multi-million-dollar contract with us. Yeah. And so we're like, we need to fucking get this shit.
Yeah.
And so I led this project and I organized it. I was a project manager and everything for this. And it went so fucking smoothly at fucking first. But then the way that I had it planned and laid out and everything, we were going to actually have it done 2 days or be done 2 days before the deadline, which is pretty fucking amazing on a project that's a third of the time. A third of the time it would normally take us. But then during the last couple days, my boss, he kept changing his mind on a few things. We had to like go in and spend the entire last 3 days just refixing things, changing little things, because he changed his mind on a few things that he wanted to input on the project. And so that made it pretty fucking stressful. But it was pretty sick. I had 4 of us working full time on the project ever since that we got it, and it worked out very well. It was like 2 team leads, 2 managers, and 1 owner.
Wait, so can you explain what this project's like? Like they're trying to, like, what kind of package are you building them?
So they have, I can't really say exactly, but it's basically we're designing and creating their IT network and a custom program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they want a custom program with it?
Yeah. It was fucking insane.
So like they have their typical network system, and then you're just building some, like, not just, but I'm just saying you're building some GUIs for them to interface with the network with exactly what they want.
Yeah, and to fix their cybersecurity.
Oh, okay, I see. That's cool.
I'm kind of berserk because I kind of worked around the clock. I worked like regular hours until 6-7, which isn't regular hours, but it's extended regular hours. You know what I mean? And then I would go work out, go to volleyball, and then kind of finish the project in between whenever I was kind of free, because I knew that the other people that were working on it, they were also kind of working on it around the clock whenever they had spare time, because I'd get emails from them at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 1 a.m., and I would be doing the same thing. So I was just fucking busy.
Dang.
And then after Wednesday, it was pretty good. We sent in the project. Everything looked great. I got some pretty good praise from my 2 bosses and like everyone that I worked with, which I was really happy about. And then I spent the rest of Wednesday and yesterday just planning my other projects that I delayed for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And organizing that shit. But yeah, that was pretty much how my week been. I played volleyball. I worked out. Oh, something that I thought was really cute was my best friend Carmen. She's getting married next year. Mm-hmm. And she asked me to ordain, is that the word?
Yeah.
For her and her partner, which I thought was really cute, because she was like, you're the one that set us up, because I like introduced them and like set them up. And she was like, you're the one that set us up. I want you to be the one to marry us too. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute.
Is it in the different location?
So she's going to have 2 weddings. She's going to have a small one in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then all the legal paperwork and everything's going to happen there too. And then she's going to have one in Cancun.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, yeah, because I've done that before. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just have to apply for it, really, and that's about it.
You have to take a test or anything?
Nope. You apply, they send you some info, and then they just get them assigned, and then you have to submit the paperwork after, and then you're done.
Okay. How long does it take, Aaron?
The signing up?
Like, yeah, the whole process.
20 minutes.
Okay.
You just
And
sign
then
up and
until
then they
you're
send
like
you a package.
officialized.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you just sign up and then you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just pay them. It's a 1-day thing, so you just tell them the exact day and then you just go and do it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty chilled. Damn, you guys are in Cancun. I've been actually thinking about that for my next trip.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of places, and this, I don't know, like the flights have been shit. Like ever since
WestJet.
I have no idea. Ever since ever since I booked my Morocco, and that was like in January, there has been like absolutely no deals. There's like deals to go to San Fran or to like Yukon or some bullshit. I'm like, ugh, it's not really anything.
The Yukon would be pretty cool this year.
Hmm?
The Yukon would be pretty cool this
Fuck
year.
that.
I heard that the Northern Lights are the craziest this year than it will ever be in the next like decade.
Yeah, fuck that. Not going there.
All right.
There's no interest other than see Northern Lights. I mean, I see Northern Lights in my backyard.
But they're insane when you're closer to the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool, but I don't know. I think it's overhyped. People are like, oh, this is amazing.
I fucking love it.
I think
100%
you
up my
also love everything, though.
No.
No. I think
Astrology is huge up my alley.
I think every like little thing you're like, I love it. It's the best thing in the world. And I'm just like, I don't know what's the best thing in the world now because we just talked about like 5 best things in the world.
I love life.
Yeah. So yeah, no. So then I was like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't go to anywhere like that outworldly or different from North America. So I was like, oh, maybe I should just go to like Cancun and take a resort trip. I've never actually been to like an all-inclusive trip before, so I was like, maybe this is a good timing because there's no real good trips right now. So like for me to fly somewhere and like somewhere, for example, like Europe or South America or something like that, and to plan my whole trip, like just the flight itself is almost like $1,000.
Yeah.
And then to book like an all-inclusive thing is like $1,300 to $1,500 usually per person. So that includes like hotel and food and all that shit. So I was like, fuck, maybe I should do that for this next trip just because.
Yeah.
And I also take less time off too. Like I normally take the week off, but I take 4 days off because I have like either the Monday or the Friday off. But if I do something like this, then I could leave on a Friday and be back by like a Wednesday and then only take 2 days off.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, maybe I should do that instead.
Pretty good. And then you can also go on excursions, which are a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it. My dad's distant cousin works at one of the companies. I think Sunwing or something. So she says she has like friends and family discount if I want to use their stuff.
Oh, shit.
But they go on like very specific dates. Like they go on set dates. So it's like I just have to go with their dates. But
yeah,
their dates aren't that bad. Like it's just like I have to take an extra day off rather than what I normally would do. So I take 3 days off instead of 2 days off. But then
you still get the discount.
You kind of like I save some money still. It's not just the discount part; it's also the convenience, like not having to book everything. So like first not having to book the flight, and then from the flight figure out which resort you want to go to, and then from the resort you book that, and then you have to like figure out transportation.
Yeah, you just pay for the whole package, right? All at once.
Yeah. And then the most annoying part I found it recently is WestJet's fucking ultra basic flight. You know ultra basic? So WestJet has now have a ultra basic tier where they don't even let you bring a carry-on.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So it is actually like comparable to like flare prices, but you literally don't get a carry-on.
That's stupid. So
then I was like, fuck, man. Like, so then it sucks because when you go on Google Flight Search now, they're going to tell you the cheapest price, but the cheapest price is ultra basic. And I was like, I'm not going to cheap out that bad where I can't even bring anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you have to do some stuff to manipulate or change your Google Flight Search to like remove that. Pretty much remove WestJet altogether. Because like when you look at their ultra basic and their normal flight, the difference is like quite substantial. So when you go to their normal flight cost, it becomes like the same as the other airlines at that point.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So then I was like, I don't know. So I'm debating. Like I've never been on a resort trip, so that'd be cool. I'm just debating if I'll be bored or not. But
do you like cruises?
I do not.
Okay, me neither. The one time I went on a cruise, I thought it felt like I was in fucking jail.
Yeah, it was just like eating and just eating. Like you just eat for the full days you're there.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go walk around and explore, and if there's nothing to do, I'm just gonna go back to my room.
Yeah, but I do admit the excursions are, some of them can be really, really fun, but some of them can be really shit. So when I went to Bahamas, we went to Nassau. and that has like one of the biggest water parks, and that was so fun. That was like one of the best excursions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I think like I want to say like 3 of the 4, or maybe 3 of the 5 days that we get to go on land. They were actually fun excursions, and then the other days were just shit. It's like I might as well just not have got off the boat. I might as well just stayed on the boat. So that's why I don't like cruises. So I'll see how. I mean, like I want to book this resort trip, so I'll see how I like it. I'm not convinced, but I've never tried either, so I could like it. Who knows?
I think it's so much fun.
Like just doing a bunch of excursion shit.
Like you're there, and then you can still just like hang out with friends and whoever you go there with. There's a beach. There's food at restaurants. You can go to the gym. You can go hang out here if you want to go on an excursion. You book that trip, and then they take you out to, like, I went to Tulum.
Yeah.
And then you get to explore the Mayan temples and everything. And then I also went to explore some cenotes on another excursion.
Yeah.
And then I also went out into, like, they rented a boat, and we went out into, like, the ocean and swam with sea turtles, and then also went to go snorkeling.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Are the excursions like pretty expensive?
No.
Oh, so it's like pretty fair priced.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like 100, 200
for a bunch of those, or just each.
For I think it was like 2 or each. It depends on which ones you choose.
Oh, that doesn't sound.
But it wasn't like crazy or anything. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, I'll see. I don't know. I'm debating on that because I was like, most of my trips, I mostly plan it myself and walk around and do all that shit. But then I think Joyce might want a more chilled trip for this one. So I'll see. I think it's a good idea. I just have to see once I want to see how good that like friends and family discount is. Because I know my dad was telling me, like, when he was coming back from Toronto, she tried to convince him, because she lives in Toronto, to go on a Mexico trip with her. She was leaving like the next day after my dad left. And if he went, it would have been $800 for a week, which is really, really cheap. Just because she works there and stuff, and she has all the deals and stuff like that, right? I was like, I'll see how this friends and family discount goes. But yeah, we'll see about that. In terms of my week, not much. It's been chilled. I was actually a little busy this week because there's a bunch of, like, I finally have stuff to do at work-ish. But then I finished it, so then yeah, it's like pretty much I've done as much production testing as I can for some Power BI stuff that they want to use. And then the project I was doing production testing got put on hold for money review. So I was like, what do you want me to do now? Because the idea was if I finish production testing, I give them the product, and the project engineers will go through it and use it for like 2 or 3 days, and then give me feedback on what they want changed, right? And then that's how we get into like full production testing. And then from there, I make like template for reports and stuff. So then I did that, and then I think they had bigger problems, so then they put that project on hold. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just not do it anymore. I guess I'm done now. Yeah.
So what do you do when you have no work?
Pardon?
So what do you do when you have no work?
Just been researching random shit I want to research.
That's pretty fun.
My own personal research projects, just for funsy shit. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I keep hearing that we're gonna get more projects soon. Like, I feel like it's always on the cusp. We're always on the cusp of getting more projects for like the last month. So I don't know. I guess
year-end performance reviews.
Yeah, but I don't even know how they're gonna judge me for that. Like, we have these things where it's like goals and shit, and how you achieve that stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I make my own, and I've been achieving them. But
show up.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Right. I mean, some of them is like not up to me. Like, some of them I was supposed to do in Q1.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it because I was waiting for the comp side guy to finish his side for me to do my side.
Yeah.
So then I put it back in Q2. I was like, I told my boss I couldn't do it. Like, this is literally, like, I was expected the information by January per se, and then I'd be done by March, but I didn't get any of it. So then that got pushed to Q2.
What'd your boss say? Yeah, it's
He's like, it is what it is. And then he gave me a different project to work on. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, it should be eventually quite exciting and fun. Eventually. I do feel like I have a better plan now. Like, get some more knowledge of oil and gas under my belt before I decide to move on a bit. So we'll see.
On a day-to-day basis, do you have to log your work anywhere, like what you did today?
No, well, so typically we would have projects and you would log your hours in projects, right? Because we're consulting, right? We don't have like a overhead. We just log that shit too. It's just like your every one of your hours is into some type of project.
I see.
But I've been on overhead for like 8 months because I've been doing research project. Like I've been doing development for the company's own tools, right? So there's no project I'm on.
Well, that's like what I'm doing too.
Yeah. So then I'm helping them develop their tool and understanding it, and so there's not much like there's no projects I can be on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, when I do get back on projects, then I'll be charging that. But then I think we have probably eventually or have reached an agreement where I'll be like 30 to 50% staying on the stuff I'm doing now when when it does get busy, and then the other part of my time will go back to projects. So then I told them the most ideal case for me is if I do the mechanical analysis for equipment and not any of the bullshit admin stuff that I don't want to do. They said they'll think about it. But yeah, I was like, hey, like for me to be happy, I would like to do that. Because a lot of that is kind of like a tricky corporate political game. So I'm sure it's similar to you. It's like any project, you're gonna have like bids come in, and you're gonna have like technical questions and shit. And if you're like consulting for someone, they're gonna ask like, "Oh, why didn't you ask this question? Why didn't you ask that question?" So you have to like you have to pre-ask everything and make sure like all your bases are covered. And then I feel like it just becomes a general technical game or a political game where you're just like, all right, did you cover all your asses? Like all the emails showing that you did cover your asses and all that shit. Whereas like I just like okay, let's do the actual analysis and what is the analysis output, and then go through and do some cool shit and some like alterations and design stuff. So with design or with analysis, I get some of that, and then with the stuff I'm doing right now, the R&D stuff, I get a lot of that, right? So it's like there's a billion ways you can make this thing work. I just have to find the one way I want it to work.
Yeah,
and
I get it.
So that's the fun part, but then it might come to an end soon now that I actually have it almost working like they want it to. But it just depends. If it starts working like they think they want it to, and they want other stuff, and I'm the only one who's ever worked on this, then they'll ask me to do the other stuff too, right? So,
then you're replaceable too.
For now, I guess. I mean, I keep telling them I'm willing to train anyone to do this stuff, but I don't think they want me to train anyone. So I was like, if you want me to keep doing it, I keep doing it. But
I have to train this girl on on what I just did.
Oh yeah.
Or like the project I did before this 2-week project.
Yeah.
Right now. And then she just moved here from Colombia or something.
Oh.
It's kind of hard for some technical terms because there's a slight language barrier.
Yeah, she's only speaking Spanish or some shit.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. There's not many girls in the office.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know how well you or other people do it, but I actually have to annotate my code because one day I'm hoping someone will like.
Oh no, I do.
Oh, okay.
I do.
So I'm not sure how well other people do it because sometimes I like
mine is amazing.
Sometimes I read other people's code and I was like, this doesn't fucking make sense. No. Or like, it's not that it doesn't make sense, but I literally have to rebuild the annotation.
Mine is like something for dummies type of thing.
Yeah, that's usually how I annotate mine pretty well. I was like, I kind of do it for dummies. Yeah. But then at the same time, sometimes you can't do it that simply.
Like to make it, I do it to the point where it's still clean.
Yeah.
But if somebody scrolls to some random area, someone opens some random library or some random input, they'll know what's going on. Or they should know what's going on if they know their shit.
Yeah, so that's what I like. That's my whole process. I make it work, and then I go back and have to annotate everything after I make it work.
Afterwards?
Well, first I make it actually work. Because like sometimes it just doesn't work. Like, you fucking... You click run, and it's like, this shit doesn't work. Why?
Well, I find it easier to do it as I go. Because then if you don't know what's going on, then you can go to somewhere and you'll be like, okay, what did I do here? Then you'll know exactly what you did there. And you'll be able to fit in your head why it's not working just by reading like your comments.
No. I usually do it after. So the whole time I'm developing, I'm just literally just keep writing, figuring out, going back to the community and like seeing what other people with like similar examples do, and then like copying something similar, trying it out, seeing if it works, and then once I finally works and I play tested it, then I go back and be like, okay, what did I actually do? And then I go through all the steps.
Damn.
And then from there, I can usually pick up on something that like I may have done that may needed some corrections in the code. Because like I want to make it as robust as possible. Like you play test it as well as you can, but then you expect someone else to break it, and then you have to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So you try to play test it as much, so then whatever they do, they won't break it, right? So then I would like play test, you know, all the filter slicers, all the shit, like what if scenarios and stuff.
Yeah.
And then see if it breaks or not. And then I don't know. So far, like I feel like it's worked out for me that way so far. But at the same time, like the people who are gonna end up using it won't understand anything I do though, which is still dumb. I was like, at the end of the day, you'll still need me to do this because you guys. It's not that they can't understand it. It's just that they choose not to understand, right?
I mean, yeah, I can see it. Sometimes it's hard to just pick up a project and look through somebody's framework and just understand it completely.
Yeah. Well, and then at the same time, like they want to be able to customize this shit, but they're not willing to learn some of the basics. Because I don't know, I feel like Dax code is just one of the weirdest ones where it's very atypical compared to a lot of other codes and stuff. And kind of similar to M code, but M code is closer to SQL, so I think it's like a lot easier. But it's still weird because how I learned coding was through MATLAB, so you could see in real time.
Good old MATLAB.
You can see in real time where all your variables are stored, what the type they're stored as, and the values of the variables, right? So then I'm always used to MATLAB debugging where I go like step by step, and then you see how your variables change, right? And I was like, oh, that's so basic and simple to debug. But I feel like all these other stuff I've been using doesn't have that debugging feature.
Yeah, it just tells you something's wrong.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong? And then you have to like try like 50 million scenarios before you get it right.
Yeah, or it tells you the line that it's on.
Yeah.
You go to that line, you're like, I don't fucking see shit.
Yeah. Like I think for the longest time I had an issue where for some reason my code couldn't grab my table variable that I created. And then you need some other special code that I didn't know about until I searched online a billion times and be like, oh, I have to use this one scenario, I have to use this other one. And then the other thing is like with that code, with Dax, there's also background code. So what you type isn't exactly what they're doing, right? There's like functions that you use that are actually functions. You
input into it, right? Yeah, so it's cleaner and easier.
And then those functions actually fuck up in certain scenarios that I feel like it should be well known, but it's not, and they haven't fixed it. So then I just have to know in certain scenarios to like do this and don't do this.
Yes.
And it's just like, fuck this shit, man. I was like, people can't just learn this stuff.
SQL has something like that too.
Yeah. I mean, when I was doing M code, it was very similar, and M code's even more weird because you don't save any variables. It's all already stored in the cache all the time. So then you can always grab it. But then I was like,
replace it.
I was like, dude,
it's like Python.
I know, but it's like, to me, it doesn't make sense. It's like, you can't have infinite cache. Like, what if my code's like fucking pages long?
You pay for more.
I was like, you can't just have fucking infinite cache, guys. This stuff has to go away at some point. When does it go away so I can't refer to it anymore? Yeah, and then I think eventually I'll have like optimization issue. So I've already told my boss about this. I was like, we're gonna have latency issues very, very soon when multiple people use this like service. We're gonna have some mega latency issue, and like because when I'm developing, if I start seeing latency, and
of
like,
course
they'll see the crazy.
It's gonna come soon.
Yeah.
So what did your boss say?
We might have to pay for more of the. I was like, okay,
Don't
whatever.
worry about that later.
Whatever you want, man. Anyways, we are going to talk about random shit today. I guess we'll bounce around between random topics we talked about. So one of them I want to talk about, I was curious and thinking, so this week the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup Finals. Sucks to be them, I guess. It's his life. And then I watched some volleyballs, VNL. VNL was this week.
Canada won, right? Or not Canada.
No, Canada got shreked by Japan beat Canada in quarterfinals, and Poland beat Brazil in quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised Poland beat Brazil because Brazil actually had really good momentum throughout the whole game. But they just got run over. But okay, so then I started thinking about including our discussion on enhanced games last week. What sports are nearly uncorruptible? Okay, so for example, if you throw the match, that doesn't count. As in, like, someone else can't corrupt it, right? So like, if I was a mafia boss, I could always pay someone to throw a game, regardless of what game it is, right? Like if we're playing chess and I pay you, $2,000 to throw the game, you can still do it. All right, that's all. That's not really a fair judgment of uncorruptible or corruptibleness. What I mean by corruptibleness is like in a basketball game, for example, the ref could judge one team a bit more harshly than the other in terms of calling fouls. Similar to soccer, football, same thing. He could give more cards to one team than the other based on some type of corruption. So what I'm thinking about is like, I wonder if there's any
javelin, shot put. Yeah,
so those ones are probably you can't, right? Because those are some of the uncorruptible ones.
Long jump, triple jump.
But a lot of the track ones where it's like based on a specific time. But I also thought I was watching volleyball. I was like, I think volleyball is actually potentially one of them because the ref sees what he sees, but you can always challenge it, right? So if you challenge it, I don't know the exact rule, but I assume if you challenge it and you're right, then you still have challenges for the future part of the game, right? So it's really hard to actually have the refs be corrupted in that. And on top of that, the players are actually one of the most honest players because they actually call their own touches, right? Yeah. So they're actually pretty honest with that stuff. And if they don't, then they'll just bring up the video. And then again, if you challenge and you get it right, I think you still have more challenges throughout the game.
If you say that about volleyball refs, you can say that about like any ref technically.
No. But basketball, it's based on their judgment and stuff.
Really?
Like there is some judgment on fouls and such. So they could really lean a game one way. So is refs in hockey too. Refs in hockey can do that. Refs in soccer, football can do that. Refs in basketball can do that. Now, true, you can't just challenge everything in volleyball. But again, if the players are honest, they literally said, I touched it, right? And it went out and shit. Then it's like, if the ref calls it the other way, then it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's very clear and obvious to like call them out on that, right?
I feel like you can still corrupt the sport though. Like you can still pay off some players to like fuck up more often than not.
So then that goes back to like
throw. I fucking hate it when people
so you
throw.
Pay someone to throw. That's any sport, right? Yeah. You can go to a javelin player and be like, hey, I'm gonna pay you to not throw.
But I feel like your success in the game, if you're competing in a sport that is dependent on your skill level alone as a single individual, you can't really, it doesn't really matter if somebody throws or not. It doesn't really matter if the ref is corrupt or being paid off, because your final score, like wherever your fucking javelin lands, wherever your shot put lands, wherever you land, it's a clear there's a clear indication of that, and the other competitors aren't being compared to you directly. Like however the other competitors do, it doesn't affect you at all.
But it does, because you don't get first unless you beat every other competitor.
I mean, yes, but then I'm thinking like in terms of like if you wanted to beat a certain record, world record.
But what I'm thinking about, like the corruption part, can't, like I could technically say in every sport you could pay someone off in terms of like paying another player off. But what I'm thinking about is like paying the league off, right? As in like, can the system be corrupted, not the players themselves, right? So if the players can be corrupted, any sport is corruptible. As in like, if we had 5 javelin throwers, I could pay 4 of them to not throw the javelin or throw it really shitty, and the 5th one will win, right? If they accept the payment and they choose to do what I say in terms of the payments, right?
That's true, but at least that single individual will be able to perform to their best and still get their name in the record, or some way, somehow. Like they'll be able to perform for what in the ways that they train for in that competition. Unlike in volleyball, if one of your players just fucking throws, your whole team goes down. It doesn't fucking matter how well you do in that game.
Right. No, that's not the point I'm trying to contend with. Right. What I'm saying is like take paying players off out of the equation, because you can always pay anyone off. Right. And take just the way the game was designed. Can it be corrupted or not? Right. So for example, I think chess is one of them that cannot. Because take paying the players off aside, if the players are playing to their full potential, there's no system effects that could change the game.
I see what you mean.
Right? So, for example, like I said, basketball, there's a subjectiveness to the ref on what they see as a foul and not a foul, right? And that subjectiveness could be skewed one way or the other, right? Based on that person's boss or whatever. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying like basketball is corrupt or anything. But theoretically, if I was Adam Silver, I could go down and be like, hey, we need this game, this team to win. They could potentially call more fouls because fouls are subjective to the other team, right? Whereas you can't do that with chess, right? There's no way you can do that with chess because it's just 1v1, right?
The speed cup.
Yeah. So then, well, yeah, and then like you said, like all these like one player sports is also nearly uncorruptible, right? Again, like swimming, javelin throwing, any track and field stuff isn't. But then that again, it goes to one player sports. Now I'm thinking about team sports, right? And then I think team sports, for example, volleyball, I feel like it's very obvious because 80% of the points is just like you hit it straight down and it touches the floor.
Ping pong.
There's no other subjectiveness. Yeah, ping pong and badminton. But that again is mostly a one player sport, right?
Yeah.
It's 1v1. I was thinking like I wonder if there are any other less corruptible sports. Again, the one I thought of is
curling.
Curling would be a team sport that is not that corruptible because it's so objective, right? And the argument I make,
golf too, but golf's still single.
It's single player, but the argument I made for volleyball is literally just like the point is so clear sometimes. Like 80% of the points is literally someone slamming the ball onto the ground. Like there's no subjectiveness to it, right? Yeah. Like the game was designed in a way to avoid or remove some of that subjectiveness to the game. But basketball is not true. Like you could have one team fouled a bit more than the other. So is hockey. You could have one team get a bit more penalties than the other, right?
Yes.
And then I was like, oh damn, that's cool. Like I wonder if there are other sports like that, because one other contention for single player sports technically is also any combat sport, because if you go into a decision, then it's literally how the judges feel, and that is something you can pay off to, right? So if you're in boxing or MMA or anything like that, and the fight doesn't end with someone on the ground unconscious or something like that, then the judges may have too much of a sway on the end result. And then if one judge was paid off or not, then
because the amount of points they get, right?
Exactly. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like thinking, like, I wonder if there are any other ones that are less corruptible, because there's a scale, right? Most corruptible sports and least corruptible sports, right? And then, because I know for sure, I think soccer in some leagues are very corrupt, but they're corrupt all around. So it's not just the refs; it's also
like aside from
the teams and stuff. Like, I think in Asia, there's a lot of sports betting for football, like soccer. So there's a lot of corruption too in some of that shit. But yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, I can't think of many other ones, but it's a very interesting thing, because if you designed a perfect game or a really, really good game, then you go to the realm of almost being non-corruptible, right? Like chess is almost perfect in terms of that sense. You could pay a player off, I guess, for
who's the top person in chess again? It's
Magnus Carlsen.
Oh,
I don't know if he's still the top, because I think he chose not to compete in some of the competitions.
Oh really?
But I think elo wise, he's the top.
I think because I get that chess is also a huge mental game. I think it's hilarious how he really plays into that by showing up fucking late as shit to all his games.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I actually think he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he just he just has the confidence that he can beat anyone, so then he just does whatever he feels like.
Yeah, he is still top.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. So it's like you have the highest elo, and like you know how the elo is calculated and stuff like that, right? You have the highest elo, but you didn't compete in the biggest tournament in the world. Are you still
so
the
your
best?
Story can't get
right.
Your score can't get affected.
Well, not only can your score not get affected, technically you're the best, but you're not playing the best, at least for this one tournament, right? And I forget the argument, but he has have arguments of why he's not participating in that shit.
What do you say?
I don't fucking know. And it's tough because like elo is interesting thing, because you could have hot streaks and cold streaks too. And when you come to such a big tournament, that could really fuck up your ranking and placings like that, right? Like you could just have 5 draws in a row and lose one, and you lost that entire series against that player.
Yeah.
Right. And like potentially to force the draws was not as difficult, and to make that one mistake was just so easy, right?
Yeah.
So like it's tough to say, because like theoretically you could be a better player. Like if per se there was a god and he were to look at it, you are the better player, but you just made
statistically you're not anymore.
You just made the one mistake, right? And then the elo just gets fucked from that.
It's pretty crazy. I wonder what his regular routine is during his day-to-day life to train for these things and to make sure that he's in tip-top condition to perform.
I don't think there's much. I mean, no, there's a lot of training, but I think a lot of it is already pre-done. Like, a lot of the training comes from all the games they played in the past already.
So you're saying that, like, on a regular day basis, he just fucks around?
No, he just keeps playing. Like, he literally just streams and plays chess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He has a stream?
Yeah.
Magnus?
Yeah, Magnus has one. Hikaru has one. Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I think there is some genetic talent to chess, but I think the best players just have like a ridiculous number of hours playing. Like just some like stupid number of hours playing.
To know all the possibilities and all the scenarios.
Yeah, pretty much like who's the best player in the world is technically the bot, because the bot knows the exact like technically best move every time. So if you can remember,
unless you pretend to go all in. I don't remember if that was with chess or if that was with Go or poker.
I don't think that's.
But no. There was a bot that I was reading a study on this that if you probably poker because there's no all in for these ones. But if you fake going all in, then a bot will always fold each time. Until it was like the first couple hundred iterations where the bot wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
And then after that, it figured it out. It figured out what like bluffing was.
Yeah, because
it was kind of actually pretty sick.
I mean, it just means the model was too young.
Yeah.
The model didn't have enough training sets and data and stuff like that, right? Because poker is very interesting too, because it's very stats related, right? So like, I don't play, but I watch it a lot and stuff, and it's really cool. Like I like to see how they think, because they can understand your range. So that means they can understand what two cards you might have if you were to bet what size, right?
Yeah.
So like pot size, half of pot size, a quarter pot size, double the pot size. And then what hands you're willing to play, and then who else is folding, and then how many players there are, right? So if you have a decent hand and 4 other people folded, but 5 other people are still in it, say you have an ace, I feel like very highly likely 2 or 3 other people already have aces. That means for you to make a pair on the board is actually now lower. So that means actually having a non-high card might be advantageous. But then if high card wins, as in like no one can make anything, then your ace just straight up wins, right?
Yeah.
So then there's a lot of like thinking that they have to do with that stuff, which is really cool. But again, like similar to chess, in my opinion, they just have so much hours. Like they just play nonstop.
Yeah.
Like especially with the invention of like online poker and online chess, people literally just play like fucking crazy. They play until they can't play, and then and they just sleep, go back to playing.
That's fucking wild.
I mean, it's cool because you can get really good really fast with that, but then mentally, I don't know if it's good or not. That's debatable.
I heard that for some people that get popular from streaming certain games, sometimes they fucking hate it because it's like you can't change and start playing a different game because you're known for playing that one game. Say you're known for playing Smash and you got famous for playing Smash, and so you start streaming Smash every single day, and eventually you're like, maybe I want to play Minecraft today, maybe I want to play Valorant today, but you fucking can't.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think that's why a lot of pro gamers can't become streamers, because they really like the game and they really want to play the game, but to become a streamer, you actually have to interact with your audience, right? If you're never going to interact, then there's no point watching you compared to watching your VODs.
Yeah.
Right? There's no point watching you compared to watching your YouTube version of you, right?
Yeah.
So no one's gonna watch you. There's no point, right? They're not time restricted now. But if you actually have like hot takes or funny stuff, or you actually interact and shit, then you can become. But I feel like everyone's kind of figured out like a recipe.
Ludwig. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're either very good at a specific game, and that game survives for a long time, or you're just a very interesting person. Yeah. Or you could be very good at a specific game and then slowly work your way to become interesting. But then it goes back to like, how do you become interesting outside of that if you only play that like 8 hours a day, right? Yeah. So you have to find a way to become actually interesting, or you actually have to have an interesting past, or I don't know, you just have to know how to talk to people and things. It's like a social aspect. I'm sure there's like streaming, or there's educational companies trying to teach streamers to like be more social or some bullshit.
I can see it.
Yeah, like if I was some random college, I would like set up that course, try to advertise to streamers.
Do you want to become a streamer 101?
Yeah, I was like, here,
Oh,
we'll
shit,
teach you
what a
how to be
waste of money.
social. And then
What a
number
waste
one
of
is
money.
like, don't be gay. Not literally, but like, you know what I mean. Something like that.
Yeah, or you join a house.
The streamer house and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very interesting when they do that. I think it sucks to have to always merge your life into that. Like, I think being a streamer and gamer shit is really cool, but I can see it getting old real fast.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, if you don't have good friends to play with and shit, then you're literally just getting
Or
shit
you're not
on.
super passionate about the game.
Yeah. That's the case. I mean, fuck, I wish there was a thing in engineering that's similar to chess where I just like keep solving problems and leveling up.
I'm sure there is.
No, I mean, I don't think so.
Someone just gives you constant problems within the same
Field or whatever.
niche.
Maybe, I don't know. But like in chess, it's cool because people can get good so fast is that they literally have problem solving games. It's like, this is the position you're in your board. What's the next best move?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you literally problem solve from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, that's so cool. Because like the more you do that, the more you figure out that if this ever comes into a real scenario, you already know the answer to it.
Yeah, you still game, right?
Yeah. Still game.
What games do you play right now? Have you played Fire Emblem?
No, I played some roguelite. I've been downloading and trying out some like new roguelite games.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really found any good solid ones. It's either it's too easy or it's too complex. It's just like the too complex one. It's like I don't want to commit the time to it.
Yeah.
And the too easy one, it's like, oh, it took me like 3 days. I already beat the game. I don't like. There's no fun in this, right?
Shit.
Yeah. And then lately, me and my friends are playing just zombie survival games, 7 Days to Die and shit.
Oh shit.
That stuff's usually, to me, is really fun because you can really min max the game.
Uh-huh.
Usually in zombie survival, you have like crafting and you have like you build weapons and you have to like survive and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that RPG access for me is really fun, just because it's like a known progression that you can figure out and you can actually min max the fuck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I've been playing lately, but not too much, I guess.
Not too bad. Would you ever play Fire Emblem?
I used to love playing old games. Like when I had Game Boy emulator on my
There's
computer.
new Fire Emblem versions out. I think the last one was I forgot.
So
actually.
the question is like, did the game do anything new lately? Like, is there some new features, some new things that only they're doing that they're innovating on? If not, then I feel like most people playing the new Fire Emblem is because of nostalgia of the old Fire Emblems.
Can you search it up? I forgot what it was called. It's blue and red. That's all I fucking remember. It's like Sword and Shield. I don't think it's Sword and Shield.
Fire Emblem. Let's see their latest game.
Oh, Sword and Shield. is something else.
Engage. Fire Emblem Engage. Is
Oh,
this one?
yes.
Yeah,
Sword
so
and Shield's Pokemon, I think.
yeah. And I mean, though, I feel like maybe this is a generalization. I think most people that play Pokemon is really just the nostalgia factor of Pokemon back in the day.
I think some people are really like genuinely like it.
I feel like there's the innovation has been really shit ever since like a certain tier and above. It's just got really
Yeah.
bad.
It doesn't fucking look like Pokemon anymore.
I don't like
They're making literally like I feel like before they would be really creative with the Pokemons that they would make, but now they just take an object or an animal and just Pokemonified it.
Yeah.
Which I think is so stupid. Like they'll take a router and be like
just Routermon.
No, that sounds like Digimon. But like, you know,
Routerton or whatever.
yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
But yeah,
I used to really like Pokemon.
the game used to be very cool in terms of innovativeness. So when it first came out, it was crazy. Like no one's experienced that type of RPG before.
Mm-hmm.
Semi turn-based RPG with some like story and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool because you found all these bugs, and that was like the best part, right? Like rare candy bug, duplicating items, ultimate like 99 master
Easter
balls, like
eggs.
shit like that, right? And then they kept changing and innovating stuff. Like when Pokemon Yellow came and a Pokemon could follow you, that was like the biggest shit in the world. I was like, holy fuck, Pikachu can follow me and I can interact with it during game. And then the way like I think the Safari Forest works and all that stuff, that was all very, very innovative. But then after a while it just stopped. I felt like they made it easier for the younger players, but then it just made it not appealing for me.
Yeah, it just felt like the same thing, but a different town and different Pokemon that you're supposed to capture, but not really a different story.
Like I also felt like they made the game too easy and they made it too family friendly.
Yeah.
So back then you could gamble in the game, and that was a big thing you could do, because I'm not sure if everyone knew, but like you could gamble, make a lot of money, and then you would buy all the supplements for your Pokemon, and you could min-max your Pokemon to like grow as maximum as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they took a lot of gambling out of the game, and I think they took a lot of the dark things of the game out, and then they also made, at least for the Switch version, they made EXP share mandatory, which is bullshit.
That's
like
dumb.
I hated that. So like what I think the funnest way to do it is do it like Ash. Like you take one Pokemon and you only use one the whole fucking game, and then you have raid boss at the end.
You kind of end up doing that anyways. Like when you collect a whole bunch of Pokemon, you end up having a favorite, maybe a favorite two that you always kind of use, and then when you're fighting against another Pokemon, you're like, okay, maybe I should train this one. Maybe I should train this one. Oh, this Pokemon works better with water. This Pokemon works better with shadow or whatever the fuck. And then afterwards, but then eventually, one Pokemon gets stronger than all the other ones, and you're just like, I'll just use that one, whatever, and I'll just use all my items and all my potions, everything on that one. It's okay. But and that one just gets freakishly strong, and then you just like slowly clear all the other ones.
Yeah. I think. So the problem I had when I was a kid is the original games, they couldn't allow you to have more than one save file.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when Pokemon started coming out on the DS, you could have multiple save files.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it changed the game a lot, because what you could do is you could try to speedrun the game. So you take one Pokemon and you try to beat the game as fast as possible. And that gets really fun because you have like raid boss level shit, but you also have to like buy shit that you normally don't use. So like PP Restore, people never use that because you go to the med center and you heal your Pokemon and they will boost all their PP back to max, right?
Yeah.
But when you want to take just one Pokemon and you want to run through everything, you don't want to keep going back to the med center because you want to finish as fast as possible. So like mid run between one town to the next, you would just PP restore all your Pokemon's stuff. And then not just that, you would use repel all. So you would use a fuck ton of repel. So you walk through the whole forest, you don't see anything, and you only fight trainers.
Oh, that's sick. I always hate, oh, there's a wild animal. Fuck this wild fucking Caterpie.
So essentially, you only fight trainers and you only use one Pokemon and you try to finish the game as fast as possible. I think the fastest I got was 8 hours or something.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, fuck yeah.
The one game that I actually really liked that I put the most amount of time in was Pearl and Diamond. I did Pearl version.
I think for me, it was... Yeah, it wasn't those ones. It was before that one. Whatever was before Pearl and Diamond. Maybe Ruby Sapphire, or maybe even before that one. And then after that, the appeal for me just kind of got lost.
Yeah.
Like after a while, I started playing other games, like not specifically after a while, but I played Mega Man a bunch because I thought that was a very fun, like tactical turn-based shit with some skill involved. And then, like, for a bit, I got back into like Final Fantasy 1.
Oh,
very OG ones.
Kingdom Hearts was a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
Kingdom Hearts was so sick.
I never got into it, but I thought the aspect of it was really cool, where you combine like Disney characters and all this other shit and you fight. I thought that was super cool, but I never got into Kingdom Hearts. I got really into just Final Fantasy 1, just like the style they have. It's like you can pick whatever party you want. You can have like 4 monks if you want, and you just fucking go through the game.
I was really into a game called Legend of Mana.
Legend of Mana.
Yeah, look it up. It's kind of similar to Final Fantasy type of games. I freaking loved it.
Very like pixel turn-based or not turn-based, doesn't really matter. I mean, the turn-based is preferred. I used to love playing like pixel games and shit. I always thought the pixel game was super cool because you didn't have an engine that could run properly for the more animation, so the pixel was like the perfect
Final
animation.
Fantasy, I think it's called Crystal, was also one of my favorites.
I mean, with Game Boy emulator on the computer, it was the shit because I could play any and every game, and at that point, I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Oh yeah.
That's when I started playing a bunch of random shit. I don't know. Let's see, nostalgic games, nostalgic video games.
You know, another game that I fucking loved was Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Fucking sick.
Sonic.
You go through the runs, and there's this one run through the city. I forgot exactly the name. Me and my cousins would play it and trying to see who could get a perfect score. Like, you get all the coins, you do all the perfect moves, you run everything perfectly each time.
I think
It came down to muscle memory eventually.
this was this Nintendo? This one, whatever this
Super
Super
Mario
Mario.
World?
This one, Super Mario World, was one of my favorite.
Oh
'Cause
yes.
there was so many Easter eggs and like different shit you could do. So like a lot of the times,
Right.
almost every other map, if you fly high enough and far enough, you could reach a different stage of that map.
Mm.
I thought that was so cool. There's so many like secrets and hacks, and back then you didn't have the internet, so you had to like literally figure it out yourself. Yeah, I mean during COVID, I played Super Mario Odyssey for quite a bit, just to finish the game and shit.
Well, looks sick.
It was just one of the games I just like.
Oh, I really like Super Mario Galaxy.
Super Mario Galaxy.
That was really pretty of a game.
What was this again? Oh, okay, similar to yeah. There's the N64 version of it too, right?
Yeah. Oh, really? Is there?
Whatever was the original version of this. Like Mario Galaxy was the more advanced version.
I have no idea. I played the Wii version.
Oh yeah, whatever was before Wii version is the one I played this shit off. I think I ended up getting emulated on my computer and I just played it.
Oh, that's like Super Mario Sunshine. With
Oh, where you had to like
also-
water the plants and shit?
One of my favorites. You clean the city.
Oh. Yep. All these Super Mario games. I mean, they make it very. I actually find that they make a very balanced game where you could have the noob like kids play it, and then you could have the people
Yeah.
who like want to find all the Easter eggs play it.
Xenoblade is also pretty good.
I think I've heard of the one too. But after a while, it all for me it became just became PC gaming. So it's just with like friends and shit. So then more like shooters or
Yeah.
MMO shit. Yeah, I was into Ragnarok for a long time. Ragnarok Online, that was the shit for a while.
Fuck, there's this one game that I always forget what it's called. But it could be Ragnarok. Maybe look up.
I love fucking card games on the computer.
Like Big 2.
No, like I mean, I've never really played Hearthstone that much, but games similar to that. So like there's
I
Slay
play
the Spire.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Hearthstone's kind of fun.
So there's like Slay the Spire is the rogue version, not exactly Hearthstone, but similar. Slay the Spire, Monster Train, Wild Frost. There's a bunch more recently because became a big thing.
TFT is kind of fun too.
That's not even the same type of game, but
I
yeah.
know, but I'm just
You know TFT actually stands for other things too.
yeah.
You know the
it's,
original. What's the original TFT?
League?
That's
Wait, TFT is League.
TFT is League, yeah, but not the original TFT.
Don't know.
Like current TFT or what people call it is like Team Fight Tactics, right? And
Yes.
that's the League thing. Original TFT is Team Fortress 2. That
Team
was OG.
Fortress
Like people play the
2?
fuck out of this game.
Team
So back then
Fortress?
people always called this TFT, and this
Well-
is like This was like the pre-Overwatch game.
Well, it kind of looks like it.
And I think everyone liked this game a lot more. It was very connected to Valve and stuff. And then when
Mhm.
Overwatch came out, like a lot of people jumped over, but I think a lot of people still liked TFT. The concept was just good. The game was balanced. It was always fun.
You know what game is dumb? Fall Guys.
Yeah, I mean it's a party game now.
Fuck that game. It's so fucking
It's
hard.
gonna not suck. Yeah, party games. There's party games. There's board games and shit. A lot of board games are essentially party games. You do it in a party setting with people. I think those are, I don't know, fun-ish sometimes, but sometimes not that fun. Just depends on how much trolling there is. And
It's still on my list to play the newest Legend of Zelda game,
yeah, the other one, right?
Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't
Legend.
gamed in like years.
Bro, you don't even have
Like,
time
seriously.
for that shit.
I have played every single Legend of Zelda game except for this one so far. So
Oh, you're just there questing. You just need another COVID to come around. You can play the fuck out of this one.
you're right. I love Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I'm not specifically committed to any one franchise or anything, but just a lot of random roguelike games. CS:GO is fun too. Shooters.
CS:GO.
Yeah, or CS2 now is what it's called. But yeah, nope. I just play random shit now. All right, what's yours? You have some shit about serial killers you want to talk about?
Alright, so when I went down to Calgary just to hang out, Carmen asked me, this was like a month or two or whatever ago, I don't remember, back in March maybe.
Yeah.
She asked me a few serial killer questions because she was like, oh, she heard these serial killer questions from one of her friends, and then they said that if you can figure out the riddles to the riddle, then you kind of think like a serial killer. All right. So one of them was you go to, let's see. Okay, the one that I can formulate first in my head is one day you're looking out the window out of your apartment. You happen to look across the street, and across the street you see a guy murder somebody else. He's in like the other. Okay, sorry, let me reformulate this. You're in your apartment building, you're looking out the window. In the apartment building across the street, inside one of the windows, you can see a guy kill somebody.
Okay.
Once he's killed somebody, he happens to look out the window, he sees you seeing him, and you guys make eye contact. Then he uses his hand and makes some sort of gesture.
Like what? Like the middle finger?
What do you think he's doing?
He's like, what do you think his gesture is? Like, what is a gesture? Or I don't know what
That's the
Oh, so
thing.
what gesture does he make with his hand?
He's making a gesture of his hand. What do you think he's doing?
But what's the gesture? Do I know?
No,
Can I see the
that's-
gesture?
No.
So the gesture is blurred.
Like you can see the gesture, but
Okay.
the riddle is for you to figure out what he's doing.
Oh.
Like the riddle is, I'm telling you, he made some sort of gesture. What's the answer? What is he doing?
Oh, so what is the gesture is the
Yeah.
question.
What is the gesture and why?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just what would I see? I think I would see him pretending like someone else did it or something.
Mm,
I don't know.
say your best guess.
I mean, like,
think
can
aloud.
he make gestures with his hands, or is it his face, or
Yeah,
is it
he
his
looks at
whole
you
body?
and he makes a gesture with his hand. What do you think he's doing?
Oh,
There is some of these questions, so I was able to figure out this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm curious. I'm gonna search up these other questions so I can say it correctly.
I don't know. I would assume he would either try to threaten you or try to play it off. Either or. I guess the ballsy thing would be to threaten you, do like an ICU gesture thing, you know.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, or maybe it's a I see where you live type of thing. Like, I see their apartment, something like that. I think it would be something threatening if he's a murderer. He'll try to, like, the first response, if you're able to murder, you're probably going to, like, threaten someone to not say shit. So that's what I would say.
So that's what I thought at first, but then I thought about it more, and the answer actually is that the guy's counting which floor you're on,
Oh.
so he can go.
Yeah, but couldn't he just automatically see it? He'll just, like, look up and then he'll see what.
I mean, what if there's a whole bunch of fucking floors? He's basically, the gesture is like he's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you're on that floor. I'm gonna come find you now.
Oh.
So if you're able to
Okay.
figure that out, then you'd be like, oh shit, like you think kind of more like a serial killer.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. This is like, oh, if you answer these 3 questions, you're gonna become a pop star in the future. You know, those, like, bullshit stuff we had on, like, MSN and stuff back in the day. That sounds exactly like that. Oh, if you can figure this out.
All right, here's another one.
Yeah.
While attending her mother's funeral, a woman meets a man she's never seen before. She quickly believes him to be her soulmate and falls head over heels in love with him. He's fucking gorgeous. He's a gorgeous, amazing specimen of a man. Okay? But then she forgets to ask for his number.
Mm-hmm.
And when the funeral is over, she can't track him down. A few days later, she murders her sister. Why is
A
that?
few days later, so then he could come back to another funeral because her sister knows him.
Whoa, holy shit, that's so
not
true.
That's like one of those dumb answers.
That's so true. Holy shit, I didn't get this one.
Wait, is that the answer? or
Yeah.
what? Oh.
It's because if he showed up at
Yeah.
her mom's funeral, then he knows someone at somebody in the family.
Yeah.
So that means she needs to kill someone in her family for him to show up again.
Yeah, that sounds
She wants to see him
pretty
again.
dumb.
Fucking wild,
in my
eh?
opinion. Like, who organized the funeral?
I don't know.
Yeah, but like, if it's your mother,
Yeah,
I think it's a very obvious question to ask who organized the
but she's
funeral.
dead.
No, but like, it's your mother that died.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
You should know who organized the funeral. So unless you guys sent out an obituary, then that guy should know, or you should know who was invited. And if you did send out an obituary, you didn't have to kill your sister. You just sent out another obituary for your sister.
Mm.
You understand? Does that make sense?
That makes
So then
sense.
you know who organized it, so you know who got invited. And then if you don't know who organized it and got invited, you just submit an obituary without actually killing your sister.
That makes sense. Okay, so the other riddle
Yeah.
that I have is that there's this criminal. Every single time he kidnaps somebody,
Okay.
he gives them 2 pills to pick from.
Oh.
A red pill and a blue pill.
Okay, Morpheus. Okay.
Or okay, a pink pill, a yellow pill,
Okay,
whatever you want the 2
whatever.
pills to be. You get to decide. Oh yeah, let's say it's you. You get to decide.
He kidnapped me, and I have to decide which pill to take.
Yes, which pill to take. He gives you complete control, and he'll
Okay.
take the other one.
Okay.
He tells you that whatever you do, 1 pill makes you live, 1 pill makes you die.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason, he does this every single time. He doesn't force you to pick whichever pill. You have complete control on which pill you get to pick.
Mm.
All the people that he kidnaps get complete control on which pill he picks. He always picks the opposite one, but he has never died yet. You
Go ahead. Is there more details I need, or?
So he tells you, okay, he kidnaps you, brings you into the room, tells you to sit down.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, there's a blue pill and a red pill.
Yeah.
Take the pill, swallow it down, drink it down.
Yeah.
And then I'll take the other one. I'll pop the pill in my mouth, drink water, wash it down.
Yeah.
And then whoever dies. I'll always pick the other pill. You have the entire decision.
Yeah. So the
You have
pills.
complete control.
Yeah, I feel like the pills don't really do much. Then he's just gonna kill you after. Is what I feel like is just the case. Because like there's similar
Play a
there's,
game?
there's similar riddles to that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think at least. I just think the pills don't do anything.
Okay, so what do you think is...
He just kills you.
Oh, you think he just killed you?
Yeah.
No. So the answer to that one
Okay.
is it's in the water. Doesn't fucking matter which pill you take.
Yeah. I mean, here's another similar riddle. It's just from a book I read. Okay, so this guy comes up to you.
Yeah.
And he has 2 notes that are folded, right?
Okay.
And he said, you pick a note, right? And the note is either saying yes or no. So if you okay, so the note is either death or no death, right? You have to pick one, and I pick the other one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the guy always wins. How does he win? Okay, no, sorry. The guy always win. How do you get out of this situation?
Okay, can you repeat it one more time?
Okay, so the guy comes up to you, right?
Mm.
And you're tied up or whatever, and there's 2 folded notes. One of the notes says you die, and one of the notes says you live, right? You pick the right one, you live. You pick the wrong one, you die, right? And this guy has essentially, I wouldn't say always win, but he's still alive here, right? Like he's been doing this to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So 2 sheets of paper. One
Yes.
says you die, one says you live.
Yeah.
You pick one. Pick the one that says you die, you die.
Yeah.
Pick the one that says you live, you die.
Like it's not that smart, but it's kinda, and it's just like thinking. You just have to think outside the box.
You don't pick.
No, you have to pick.
Oh damn.
Yeah. It's just a little bit of thinking outside the box, but it's very interesting. It's again, this does not reflect on your intellect. It's literally
No, I
just
know,
like
it's
you just think outside the box a little bit.
So if you pick, regardless of either one you pick, you will die, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. If you come to the odds.
if every single time he does this, he's still obviously alive, then it doesn't matter what anyone else picks.
Yeah.
So picking the paper isn't the thing.
Yeah.
You don't touch the paper?
No, it's. Do you want me to tell you the answer?
No.
Or do you want to wait a bit?
Okay, well, let me think. Okay.
I mean, again, it's a bit more like thinking outside the box, but yeah.
You run in a zigzag line.
Yeah, no. You're like tied up, for example.
Or you're not tied up, but you're confined to the room, for example. There's nothing else in the room.
You set the whole. Oh no.
It's again.
Please.
It's more like a gacha answer than anything.
Fuck. Were you before you heard this riddle? Were you able to figure it out?
No. I mean, not really. I don't think I was. Again, like you kind of have to think outside the box.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I would say I probably wouldn't think of this right away, but now I know it. It becomes very obvious. Not very obvious, but it's a cool way of like passing that test.
Interesting. So the guy's sitting directly in front of you.
Yeah.
Nothing in the room except for the table, 2 pieces of paper.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't fucking matter. Fuck.
Yeah, there's no other external objects. It's just you, him, and the paper. Like to answer the question, you also do not need any other external objects.
Picking the paper doesn't matter.
Yeah.
On whether you'll live or you'll die. Let's see. Man, I feel like I need so much more time to think about this. What's the answer?
Yeah, this is tough in the setting because we can't fucking wait off the podcast.
What's the answer?
So, you take the piece of paper you pick and you eat it right away. And by his logic, the other paper will technically say you live, but it says you die. So that means the one you ate was you live. But in reality, both of them was you die. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Right. So if both of them says you die and you take one and you eat it, like you swallow it right away, and you flip the other one says you die. So that means the one you ate, by his logic of the game, must mean you lived. Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So that's like one of the tricks to it is like if you could dispose of one of the answers, then you play by a different set of rules, right?
Whoa.
And then the whole point of that is like in that book, again, it was in Red Rising. It's like if you can't beat someone in their game, you change the rules of the game. You don't keep trying to beat them in the game.
Whoa.
Yeah, you change the whole rules. So like that's what he did. He changed the rules of the game. The rules was you had to pick one, but instead he said, "Okay, I'm gonna pick that you have to pick that one because I already picked this one, but you can't see what I picked because I already swallowed it."
So and you can't prove that this one said.
Yeah, and then if you said the rules was one of them is you die and you live, and you saw the ones you died, then that means the one I picked must be you live.
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously
holy shit, that's sick.
Yeah.
I've never ever thought of eating paper before.
Yeah. I mean, again, it won't work in every scenario, but it's very like specific scenario, right? So that's why when you were talking about the pill one, I was like, it's the same.
Take both of them.
It's the same fucking game.
Drink all the water.
Yeah, it was like I can't fucking take everything.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, the answer technically for the pill one would be like, I would dry swallow it, please.
Yeah, he's like, you don't want no water? No, I do this all the time. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll just dry swallow. I got lost spit. It tastes like sugar. Is that what you put in here? All right, I think mine's fine. It's your turn now.
Drink the goddamn water. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
It reminds me of those memes where it's like, oh, this is your day one of being a serial killer, your day one of being a criminal, and they just keep fucking them.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna drink the water? Nah. Oh, fuck.
It's the meme where it's like he pours the poison in something and then he wipes the poison on something else and then he fucking dies. Like the one of that meme. Yeah. That's hilarious. I mean, yeah, the whole.
That was in a Rick and Morty episode, wasn't it? Fucking Morty kept talking and then Rick pressed a button. This freaking gas chamber came up and sprayed Morty in the face, but they were in the same enclosed little vehicle.
Oh,
and so Rick passed out and crashed and broke his leg.
Yeah, that sounds like something Rick and Morty would do. That sounds pretty sus. Have you watched the new The Boys season?
Oh, I heard it's really good. I actually didn't finish number 2 because I couldn't get into it.
Oh, you couldn't get into number 2?
No, every single time I watched an episode, maybe it's because I didn't properly sit down and like binge watch a few episodes straight.
Yeah.
Every single time I would like start an episode, I would watch it and then I'd be like, okay, I have to go do something else, or I'm gonna go do something else. And next time I would have time to watch the next episode, I would like kind of forget what happened in the last episode.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't build up the intensity for me, so I couldn't get into it. But I heard season 3 is fucking insane.
I think we're on 4 now. Yeah, we're on 4 now.
Oh, okay, well I heard the newest season was insane.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because they had the side series that was connected to the main series. So Gen V.
Oh yeah,
Gen V is like the college version.
The one that you were
of
showing
those.
me, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
the
it's
little
crazy.
kids.
Yeah. Oh no, not little kids. It's the college kids. And it's crazy though. One of the main characters in that died in real life in a motorcycle accident. So I don't know how they're gonna like bridge the two together later.
Oh shit!
But I think the goal was to have Gen V and then the boys, and then either bridge them or have them both run like similar universe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the guy died from a motorcycle accident. I was like, Jesus fucking, like that sucks, because I felt like he was like really coming up in the world. Like he started getting his acting gigs and shit. This guy, because I think he was in Bridgerton or something, or some other really famous
I wanted
show.
to start watching Bridgerton.
Sorry, not Bridgerton. Must be something else. Midsummer Murders. No, none of these. I guess he wasn't on any crazy show.
That's unfortunate. Rip.
Yeah, but I thought he was on that cusp of becoming famous, I think.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, he's 27, yeah, so he wasn't there yet. And then he passed away from that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, in The Boys, a lot of people wasn't giving shit to apparently Erin Moriarty. That's the girl, Starlight. Because apparently they say she's got a lot of plastic surgery now and shit.
Oh, really? Let's see.
I don't know, actually. They're saying that she got a lot of plastic surgery. I don't know enough about plastic surgery to really tell. Because, like, she says it's just makeup. So I'm not sure.
Okay, in this photo,
Yeah.
she for sure got lip fillers.
You think so? I mean, are lip fillers considered plastic surgery if they're like
No,
temporary?
it's just no.
Could you get temporary lip fillers like
It
for
is
like 24
it is
hours?
temporary.
Oh, okay. So is that considered plastic surgery or
No.
Oh, okay.
But okay, in this photo
Like her
that
nose looked bigger.
we see,
Yeah.
she looks like she got a nose job.
But could it be the lighting and the
No, even
makeup?
with contour and everything, I think she still got a nose
Oh,
job.
really? Because like at first I thought she changed her cheeks, but I'm not actually sure if it's just the makeup.
No, I think her cheeks can just be makeup.
Oh, okay, I see.
I think everything,
Yeah.
if she were to actually get plastic surgery between the two pictures,
Yeah.
it looks like she got a nose job. It looks like she got, for sure, lip fillers and then Botox.
Botox where though?
It looks like
Like her eyes or
her forehead and around her eyes.
Okay, so she claims this is makeup, lighting, and filter. Like she uses a filter, and it's makeup and lighting.
And it looks like she like either lost weight or put Botox in her cheeks too.
To make it look thinner. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought this was at first.
But then
I thought,
if you look right here,
oh,
it's different.
yeah, right.
But she could have had a little filler in her
But it's the
cheeks.
angle, no? Like she kind of has this.
No,
but
it's
at
this is a
different
pretty
angle.
similar angle, I would say.
Really? Okay. Well, I
But
clearly don't know enough of this
For
shit.
her like eyes and everything, I think it's just makeup. And for like her cheeks,
I thought her cheeks was just. At first, I thought it was plastic surgery, and then when I looked at it again, I was like, maybe it's just makeup, because I can see some people doing some wild shit with makeup.
yeah, like for her cheeks on the side that where you can see her contour lines, it's
Yeah.
for sure makeup. But if you look at her side profile or her 3/4 profile, you can see that her cheeks between her like original one and like this newer one,
Yeah.
it's pretty significant actually of a change. But that could be because of like Botox, or I think there's a
How about this view? In this
fat injection.
in this view, it doesn't look like she did that much. Like
her
maybe,
cheeks actually.
or is that just her losing weight?
I think it's because normally when people think about plastic surgery and
Yeah.
putting fillers and Botox and all that shit in your face,
Yeah.
they think it's a huge difference, but it's actually not.
Oh.
Like they think that it will look like people who have overdone it, like freaking Kylie Jenner from when she was a kid to when she looks now. People think it looks that different, or
Do you think she got a lot done, Kylie Jenner?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Like I've seen the difference between the two, but also like her younger picture was so young.
Yeah.
That I was
yeah,
like, I'm not sure how much is it just growing. Like your face changes through
yeah,
time.
for
too,
sure
right?
it does change.
So
But I think like for things like this, for Erin Moriarty or however you pronounce her name, when people get Botox and filler and all that stuff, it's supposed to look natural. It's supposed to look like, oh, you kind of just look a little bit better. I can't tell exactly what's off,
I see.
but it just pulls together a lot better than normal. And it's essentially like it contours your face and shapes your face and smooths out your skin and makes things look a little bit more defined in ways that you could think is just makeup. Because unless your injector or person does it really badly or overdoes it, then you shouldn't be able to really point out anything.
I see. Yeah, I can see in some scenarios with some actresses or actors it's very, very obvious. And some not so much. Do you think Zac Efron has had shit done?
He said he got jaw surgery, right?
Oh yeah, but I think
like,
that was
broke his
literally
jaw.
like a mandatory thing. Like he fucked up his jaw. Like he fell and hurt his jaw, so he had to do it.
I think after he did that, he looks not that great.
Really? I think he looks like a Chad still.
He looks like too much like a Chad, like in a joking way.
Like
Between
too much
these
like
two-
Squidward Chad.
Yeah, between like these two photos.
Yeah.
I
Like he
think
like
his original look made him. He had like a softer appearance to him because his chin and his jawline was more softer, and everything would look more natural and more softer.
yeah.
But now it's so wide and so defined. It looks literally like a comical.
Like he
version of a
mewed
Chad.
for like 2 years straight. Or some shit. Like his first one looks like I can fuck you, and then his second was like I'll fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see that.
exactly.
I actually don't mind it. I think for the
I think
roles,
it kind of looks swollen too.
I think for the roles he's been playing, it's like perfect.
I think his face looks a little swollen.
Yeah.
I think if he alone has always looked that way, then it would look fine because it's kind of along the same lines as Henry Cavalier or Cavill, whatever his last name is.
Henry Cavill?
Oh, Cavill, yeah.
Superman?
Yeah. It's like that same type of look and facial structure, but because Zac Efron's face before was more softer in terms of his like jawline and stuff, like he didn't have as wide of a jawline as Henry Cavill or as he does now post surgery. I think that's where the difference comes in.
What if it's from the steroids?
Maybe.
Like your muscle,
Like
literally his jaw muscle just got
his
huge.
face looks so puffy in general, though.
Like for sure, I'm pretty confident he has to take roids for some of his roles.
Oh yeah. It's fucking insane how jacked he got.
Like I'm sure Chris Hemsworth. Actually, I'm not. I'm pretty certain Chris Hemsworth takes it too. I mean, he's fucking shredded. Like there are some people who are super shredded, and then you're like not sure.
Yeah.
But those are usually black guys.
I actually heard too, though. This could just be a stereotype, but I heard that in Australia, most people are actually really fucking fit. Like your average person would be somebody here who you would consider really fit.
Why do you think so?
Is this their culture, I guess?
They're just because they're always on the beach and shit. They always have to have a beach body ready.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I have a few friends from Australia, and they all said kind of the same thing, that most people are generally really fit.
Yeah, I think winter does things to you. It makes you fatter naturally, like a human thing.
But their winter is really hot.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like winter here does shit to us
yeah.
because we're fatter. Whereas there, like even their winter is not that cold.
Yeah.
So then they're always really warm, so they don't need the extra layer of fat. Like as a physiological thing, they literally don't need the fat. Whereas like if you were cutting and it was mid of winter and it was like -30 out, you would feel miserable because you can't get warm.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
I think I'd be a totally different person if I lived somewhere that was consistently warm.
Yeah.
Year round.
I think naturally for some way, like if you just live a normal healthy person life, you would shed more of the fat because you just don't need it. Whereas like I think the cold here triggers something in you that like you need some of this, like a little bit more. So then maybe you have just a bit more of, layers, right?
I can see that.
Yeah. Cause I mean down there is like it's warm all the time and shit.
Yeah, I feel like that's also the case in places like Miami or Miami or LA, where it's warmer all year round, so they have a quote unquote higher standard of how somebody's supposed to look.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, it's hard to say too because it's also averages. So like I've said this all the time, like LA has 30 times the people here. You're gonna see more hot people.
That's true.
Right. And most likely, the people who aren't hot probably won't go out as much either. Like at the same time, as in like there's 30x more people. So the people who are like gamers and shit, they'll just go to their supermarket and go home. Like the people that don't care about their outworld appearance probably won't be out that much. Right. It could be that too. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, I do admit when I was in Miami, there was like a lot more hot girls there and shit. I was like, damn.
Oh shit.
Like when you're walking the beach and stuff.
Oh shit. Yeah. What a crazy life to live.
In a warm place. Yeah. I think I would like it. I always, when I was biking to school in the summer, I've always just enjoyed that life of like being able to bike
Just
and
being
not
in the sun and feeling so free.
Yeah, and not having snow and a bunch of rain stopping you doing stuff all the time.
Right.
And I don't know, something about like your own transportation, like biking or walking or skateboarding to your occupation, is something about it makes it feel different. Like when I
Like you're really living life type of shit.
yeah, it's like when you drive to work, I feel like you're stressed naturally from driving.
I can see it.
And then when you are biking, I know you still have to get to work at a certain time, but the stress is like different. Especially if you have nice bike lanes throughout the whole time. But like if you bike north side Edmonton, it's a little bit scary. Like you're gonna get run over. I'm sure it's similar to south side and shit. But if you're like in downtownish and you have nice bike lanes and you go to your occupation through like biking or walking or stuff like that, it just feels a bit better. Can't really explain it. I'm sure there's some physiological thing to it.
I can see it.
But to some extent, yeah. So then, like once I did that once, I always wanted to live temporarily in a city that's like very pedestrian friendly.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Or even just the fact that when I go to a city with really good transportation, I'd be like, oh, that'd be cool to actually live here and like hop on a train that you know is coming every 2 minutes and get to work on time still. And then
Sounds like you would love Europe
yeah, I mean, I do quite enjoy going there, but yeah.
or the Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good balance too. There are some parts of Europe where you get the whole your own car thing and driving places.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a two balance.
I heard that there's a town in the States where cars are banned.
Oh, that's dumb.
Okay.
I mean, don't you think that's kind of dumb?
I feel like it preserves the culture. Can you search it up what it's called? I saw a few clips about it and I thought it was pretty neat. Where they're banned and so everyone just walks around. Oh yes, it's
Mackinac Island is famous for many things, but the century and a quarter-old ban on motorized vehicles true at the top of why it's such a special place. Okay, let's see. So they just don't have cars? I'm not gonna read all this. So
Oh no, look at photos of the place.
Yeah.
Mackinac Island.
What the? Why isn't it letting me?
Control C it.
There's the auto fucking. What?
Technical issues here.
Yeah, Mackinac Island.
It looks so nice.
Oh, it's an island, like island, like completely segregated.
I have no idea. All I know is the place.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of dumb, isn't it? Like if it's, I think it's on an island.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah,
near?
so it's on an actual island.
It's in the States. Where is it near?
It is near Michigan on the tip.
Oh.
But so they just have a giant parking garage here where they park all their cars on the main line. And then, I mean, yeah, it's a utopia, but they're not really getting rid of the problem, right? Like, as soon as they get back onto mainland, they have to have a car.
Maybe they live there full time.
If I had an island this small, I wouldn't live here full time.
What if you were born and raised there?
I would definitely leave.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely, like, there's only so many jobs you can do in this town.
That's true.
And there's only so much growth. Like, it's the whole
That's
thing
true.
where it's like, if your family owned a business there, and they have 5 kids, or say 3 kids, what are the 3 kids going to do? One of them might take over the business, but the other 2 is going to have to figure something out. Like, you can't turn one business into 3.
Peace
all
out,
the
never
time.
come back.
I mean, that's
See you, bitch.
the very... And, like, what if they want to go to, like, an IKEA or something?
Oh, I didn't know Google had this center phone thing. That's pretty sick.
Like, if they want to go to IKEA, they're probably going to take the ferry to the mainland where they have a giant garage, parked all their cars, and they're going to get in their car and leave.
Gas guzzling car.
Yeah. I'm going to make up for all the good I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, it seems ideal, but it doesn't seem practical. Like, if you told me there's a town that doesn't have any cars in, like, for example, Amsterdam, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably like somewhere in the Netherlands, very central to Amsterdam.
Probably,
I'd be like, yeah,
there's a place like that.
like there's probably like a specific community somewhere in Amsterdam where there's just either almost no cars or just no like roads for cars. Right, that's more believable because they have like really good transportation and such.
Unless you're outside the city, it's kind of nice,
and
but
then,
it's still way better than Edmonton.
Yeah, it's once you get outside. But I mean, that's the thing. Like there's good and bad to the Europe stuff, but the good part is like, for example, in the UK, you have a mix of both. Like if you want to be near a lot of really good transportation and stuff, you could literally live closer to London. And then if you want like a small town and stuff, you could be like in a village, and then you actually need a car and stuff.
Ludio, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of
my
my desires is to go
Dursley.
to vacation in UK and just see if it's exactly like in all the books I read and all the movies I fucking watch. Probably not, but you know, it'd be kind of cool. I would definitely try to rent a car and just drive around.
Is. Like if you go to the suburbs area, it looks pretty fucking dead.
Yeah. I mean, their culture's all different too because they have a very like pub culture. So they all go to the pub after work almost every fucking day, and they all drink like a pint or two every single night. And it's weird too. So like, if you drink every day in North America, you're called an alcoholic. But in the UK, everyone does that, so you're not really an alcoholic.
That's true.
It's some other metric.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah, I mean, for them, that's literally their way of socializing. Well, yeah, kind of in Asia, but not as much. I actually think in Europe it's more. Like the drinking culture in Europe is more normalized
than like Korea.
Okay, I know
Japan.
Koreans get drunk a lot, and so does Japanese people.
Yeah.
But they might do it on like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of thing. But I feel like in the UK they do it every day. Like they'll go out for a pint every single night, and then maybe on the weekend they'll drink a couple more pints than on the weekday, right? So yeah, maybe like total beer volume, UK definitely destroys them on that.
I can see that. Dublin.
But I don't think they
Ireland.
I don't know. It's just how they socialize. Because in Korea and Japan, I feel like there's still an aspect of socializing where they use more online stuff.
That's true.
In the UK, I literally feel like, oh, someone's around, let's go to the pub, grab a pint, and chat. And then they do that every night. Like, I felt like when I was in Europe, either Barcelona, Paris, Marseille, any of those, people are always out having a drink with their buddies, chatting every single day.
That's true.
Right? It just felt like a normal thing. Like, Korea and Japan didn't feel as normal.
I definitely understand that. When I went to Poland, I had one of my Polish friends show me around, and then every single time we went out, he's like, all right, so we're gonna go to this place to drink beer, we're gonna go to this place, we're gonna go visit. I had two friends in Poland actually, and then went to go visit the other friend, and he was like, all right, so where do you want to go drink? And I was like, my fucking god.
Yeah. Whereas like in Korea and Japan, I feel like they do that on the weekends.
Yeah.
They do that a lot on the weekends, like they'll get fucked up.
Yeah.
But in Europe, I just feel like sitting down and just ordering a glass of beer and that's it feels very, very normal there. Whereas in North America, it's like, oh, you also eat a meal or you get fucked up.
Yeah.
And you don't do it every night.
I can see it.
Yeah. Whereas in the UK, it's kind of different.
I can see it.
It creates a very different culture.
Their beer also tastes a lot better too.
Normally
I'm not a beer person, but when I was there, I would just like drink it. I'm like, this is actually not that bad.
I think Canadian beer is very strong.
Yeah.
American beer is like water, and then European beer actually has flavor.
Yeah.
That's the only distinguish.
It's like cleaner.
Yeah, the only thing I can distinguish between
has less aftertaste.
I think Asian beer is also pretty light too.
I don't know.
I feel. Anyways, we're gonna wrap this one up, and then we'll see you guys next time.
See ya. Bye.